With interest rates continuing to remain at recent highs, are you taking advantage of the generous rates many high-yield savings accounts offer, or are you storing your cash in a boring, low-interest rate savings account? Well, if you're in the latter category and you're looking to substantially improve your return on your cash, then you're in the right place. In this video, we'll go over how much money you could be missing out on, go over the requirements I use to narrow down the best high-yield savings accounts available, and finally, we'll list out the top 5 savings accounts that I'd recommend stashing your cash. And before we dive in, let me know in the comments which bank you have your savings account with. And don't forget to like and subscribe so those YouTube algorithm experts know they got it right showing you this video. There are a lot of reasons for you to set aside cash. Maybe you're saving up for a down payment on a house or car, or maybe for that nice vacation, or even just the place you store your emergency fund. Whatever your reason may be, I want to make sure you have the details to take advantage of a great savings account so that your money is earning as much interest as possible. First up, let's show you just how much of a difference interest rates can have on your money in a savings account. The current average national rate for a savings account is 0.46%, but you'll find many local banks and big banks that are worse than that. I know one of the local banks in my area, and I won't call them out here, has a whopping 0.01% rate on their savings account. They even have the audacity to offer a calculator to see how much you can save with that great interest rate. Craziness. Now we'll compare that national average with a 5% rate, but as you'll see later, all of the savings accounts in my top 5 currently have a rate over 5%. But if you had $10,000 in a savings account for 3 years getting the national average, you would earn a whopping $139 in interest over those 3 years. Of course, I'm kidding. That's just a pitiful amount of interest. Now, if we change that rate to 5%, over 3 years, that $10,000 would earn $1,576 in interest. Wow, what a difference. That's an additional $1,400 more you'd have available to use towards a down payment on a house or whatever it is you're saving for. So with it being clear how much of a difference an interest rate can have on your cash you've saved, let's go over the requirements I had to make it on my top 5 list. It was pretty simple. They needed to, 1, offer an account that had at least a rate of 5% or higher with no gimmicks or additional requirements to get that rate, including ones like having a certain balance to obtain the rate. Second, the account can't have any monthly fees or minimum balance to avoid getting a monthly fee. Thirdly, they wouldn't lower your rate if your balance was higher than a certain threshold. There are some banks out there that once you get above a certain amount, then they lower the rate you get. Finally, the bank needed to be available to everyone in the U.S. Based on those requirements, here are my top 5 high-yield savings accounts. First up, coming in at number 5 with a yield of 5.25% is Genius Bank. Maybe you'll become a genius if you open an account with them. They're an online-only bank and offer only personal loans and savings accounts. At number 4 is Tab Bank. And for those old enough to remember the first diet soda, also known as Tab. Well, this has nothing to do with that brand. Anyway, their savings account currently boasts a yield of 5.27%, and they are also another online bank. But they do offer a broad range of banking services for both individuals and businesses. At number 3 is Brio Direct, which only offers savings accounts and certificates of deposit, and is also an online-only bank. Seems to be a trend I'm sensing about higher rates tied to online-only banks. Brio's rate is a little bit higher than the first 2, currently offering a yield of 5.35%. Coming in at number 2 is Western Alliance Bank, just beating out Brio Direct with a yield of 5.36%. They do have a relatively minor requirement in that you need to open the account with at least $500. Western Alliance is a full-service bank that is part of a large brand that owns several other smaller regional banks in Arizona, California, and Nevada, but this portion of their business is only online. And finally, coming in at number 1, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you. My Banking Direct, with a phenomenal yield of 5.55%, by far the best rate of all the available savings accounts. They offer individual checking, savings accounts, and CDs, and are a subsidiary of Flagstar Bank, which is best known for their mortgage lending, which is actually who I have my mortgage with. Maybe I should be getting paid a benefit for this. Anyway, they also have the requirement of an opening deposit of $500, but I think for most that is something that won't be an issue. But if it is, you could easily open up an account with one of the 3 others from the list: Ingenious, Tab, or Brio. Well, that's it for this short video. We saw how important it is to store your cash in an account that earns a good rate. And we went through 5 banks with great rates. I hope you'll take action if you're currently sitting in a low rate account and get your hard-earned money working better for you and get it moved into something that will reward you much better. As always, thanks for watching and hanging around till the end. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you know when I put out new content focused on your money and how to manage it best with a little bit of comedy thrown in for good measure. See you next time.